Hello everybody, my name is JackTheFallout and welcome to the Virtual Reality Graveyard. This is a brand new series where we are going to delve into the demise of different VR games, exploring their highlights, uncovering the reasons behind the downfall, and speculating what could have been. Today we begin with the tragic tale of Monster Collector. Monster Collector was a talk of the town when it was released on February 19th, 2021. This monster hunting game was limited but a fun and exhilarating experience. Unfortunately, Monster Collector met its untimely demise on July 10th, 2021, with its last update marking the end of its life, and apart from a few Discord posts, it has been radio silence ever since. Let's start by understanding what Monster Collector was all about. It was an early access virtual reality game that allowed players to face various monsters, each with a unique dynamic slicing feature. Basically, if it was fleshy, you could cut it. It was brilliant. The game offered a decent variety of monsters to fight as well, but unfortunately in its current state the game suffers from performance issues and causes nausea after a short amount of time playing due to the frame rate problems and the jumping mechanics. The weapon variety is limited as well, but the weapons available do serve their purpose. As I mentioned previously, the monster variety in the game is quite extensive. Among the monsters you can encounter are large bipedal vampires that are easily dispatched by targeting their legs or the top of their head, which can be very satisfying. These large vampires attack by swiping you with huge claws and occasionally biting. Bite! Wyverns are a real challenge, as they can fly and breathe fire. This required spears, just like that scene from Game of Thrones, but instead of throwing one, I threw 200. Spoilers for that scene in Game of Thrones as well. If you are able to disable their legs, for some reason this outright stops the wyverns from working. Beheading the wyverns was an effective way to deal the final blow, and if you get the angle right, you can ground them by chopping off one of their wings. You can also use the wyvern's head as a weapon too, which sprays fire at any unfortunate enemies around. Ah yes, humans, the ultimate prey. Humans use swords and shields. They do like a couple of attacks. There's a really cool spinning attack that humans do, but if you just point your sword out, they will cut themselves in half. Humans are easy, pathetic prey, and all you have to do is tap them and then they die. War elephants are slightly challenging due to their large size and the fact that they wield giant hammers. This makes them very dangerous in groups, so jumping over them, avoiding the large weapon attacks and attacking them from the back of the neck is the way to go, just like Attack on Titan, but they're not titans, they're war elephants. Going for the legs is another great way to go, but be careful because their tusks can get in the way. Giant spiders, an arachnophobe's worst nightmare.
You look like Steve Harvey? Huh? Hey, what's wrong with you?
Creepy dark purple beasts that can jump, mind you. They can also be defeated by removing their face and disabling multiple legs. They do jump attacks and try and bite, but they are pretty easy to dispatch once you get over the fact that they are giant spiders and can inject you, web you up and eat your flesh. They can't do that, it's very limited, they just jump and bite, but still, it's cool to think of them that way. The three-headed Hydra dinosaur dragon looking thing motherfucker. This thing required avoiding its fiery breath attacks and attacking its heads, chopping the heads off one by one until you get the last. Despite their large size, these beasts are pretty easy to take care of once you learn how to avoid their bite attacks and flame breath. By going for the legs, you are able to disable them just like the wyvern and absolutely deleting their final head. And now we have two versions of the evil eye monster. One version breathes fire and magical attacks at you, and the other just tries to whack you with their eyeballs. An easy way of dispatching these guys is to chop off the eye stalks and go for the jaw. The jaw of these eye creatures is the weak point, so if you get the sword in the right position, you are able to just completely de-jaw them and they will die right there. This goes for both of them, while the magical eye monster is more dangerous than the non-magical eye monster. Our penultimate monster is one that likes to slither and breathe fire. It is none other than a giant snake. These giant, slithery, slimy beasts, snakes aren't slimy, they're scaly, but still, they are about the second most easiest thing to take care of. While their attacks are very dangerous, if you are not careful, you are able to just cut them in half and they die right there. And last but certainly not least, we have the giant crab from the shores of the west. I don't know if that's factual or not. It's probably from the shores, it's a giant crab. But anyway, the giant crab attacks you with its two front claws, trying to pincer you and chop your arms and legs off. And the best way to deal with a giant crab is to chop its front claws off and then go for its legs. Once its legs have been disabled, the crab is completely immobilized and you can stab it in the face multiple times until the beast dies. Before the game met its untimely end, there were two more creatures that were going to be added. One was the centaur, and the other was the Chinese dragon. I can only imagine how fun these would have been to face. The game included a very limited leveling system, where players earned gold and experience for killing the monsters. And this gold could be used to purchase a small selection of magical abilities and weapons. In its current state, it feels more like a tech demo than a game. While the monsters are fun to fight, at a price of £19, it is quite expensive considering its very large number of shortcomings. So what actually happened to Monster Collector, and is there any hope of it ever being revived in the future? Now it's time to dig a little deeper into what happened to the game. One day while browsing Steam, I stumbled upon the developer's profile, who I'll refer to as Mr. Monster. Alright, you see this form? You are required to sign it right now. There are now 3 things that you are now legally required to do. You must like this video and don't go into the Monster Collector Discord. There are very horrible images that you do not want to see, and please don't try and find the main developer and or harass him. I've done all the research so you don't have to. And now back to the Discord. One guy said that Mr. Monster died of cancer on this specific date. Shame on you, sir, for saying someone died of cancer, even though you were lying. But this really got me thinking, because it is not uncommon for humans to unfortunately die. I definitely had my doubts. Intrigued, I embarked on a research journey to uncover the truth. After conducting extensive research, I discovered that various leads shed light on the situation. Although the Steam forums and his itch.io page provided limited information, I stumbled upon Mr. Monster's LinkedIn profile, where I noticed recent activity just 3 months ago. This discovery brought a slight relief, confirming that Mr. Monster is most likely alive and well. Considering this new information, it is very possible that Mr. Monster has been facing personal issues that has hindered his ability to continue development on Monster Collector. Despite the lack of recent updates over the last 2 years, I still believe that there is a glimmer of hope left for Monster Collector to continue development. In conclusion, while Monster Collector is currently dormant, and has been for a significant amount of time, it is very important to know that Mr. Monster is most likely alive and well, and probably dealing with personal issues and or circumstances that have most likely hindered his ability to continue development on Monster Collector. At this current time, we can only speculate about the future of Monster Collector, but I know with more love and attention, it could work out to be an absolutely fantastic game if it went in the right direction. And with that being said, here is one last glimmer of hope. The currently only known developer for Monster Collector responded to someone's question asking if any more updates are coming soon, and he said, "Sorry, it will take some time to update. I have some personal issues issues to handle right now. This was responded to on the 30th of April 2022. The future of Monster Collector is very uncertain, but all we can do is hope that it one day returns. I did try to reach out to the main developer, but I got nothing back, unfortunately. While I was doing a little bit more research for this video, I stumbled upon some of the assets used in this game, specifically the monster assets. As you can see, the beginning showed the giant crab, and it's cycling between some that aren't in the game and some that are. And this is really terrible news, because the animations that these monsters play are the exact same animations used in the game, which means all of the monsters in the game are basically asset flips, and it doesn't look good. Originally, I had really high hopes for this game being something much bigger in the future, but after seeing all of these assets and seeing some of the animations play exactly as they do in the game, I'm starting to wonder if this was actually just an unfortunate asset flip with really cool mechanics. And as well, while looking at these different models, these different creatures, you can get an idea of what could have been added if this game hadn't have died the way it did. This section of the video is going to be purely speculation on what the game could have been. What I imagined for the game is, when you go to fight the monster, you enter a procedurally generated location and uncover clues to what that monster was, similar to the monster contracts in The Witcher. I would think that the map and location would also be a big clue onto what monster it is. So for example, if you are in a gloomy, dark forest, then it's most likely going to be giant spiders or bipedal vampires hiding in the night. What if the monsters were procedurally generated as well, and you had a home location that you could bring back trophies and put on your wall?
I cut his bum off.
With the procedurally generated monsters, you could have unique and interesting colours. Maybe there's a 1 in 10,000 rare albino vampire that you could taxidermy onto your wall. And upon discovering what kind of monster it is, you engage in an epic battle, using your surroundings to your advantage. With a mixture of poisons and potions, this could make hunting the monsters a lot easier than if you were to go in with nothing. With all of these mechanics feeling a lot better in the game, I feel like it would be a fun and epic experience, if only it had have gone this way and not laid dormant as it is. If you look in this part of the Discord here, you can see that they were working on a roguelike element for the game, but again, don't go in the Discord, it's turned into the Wild West. So I hereby say, rest in peace to Monster Collector. You were a fun and interesting experience. While you felt like nothing less than a tech demo, you had heart and soul, and you would have been a fantastic experience if you just had a little bit more love. Pixels to pixels, polygons to polygons, may Monster Collector one day rise again, like a phoenix. Thank you for watching. My name is JackTheFallout. Like this video, subscribe for more videos just like this one, and bye for now.
Oh my god. That's it. Nah, you scared me. So, unforgivable curses. The one you've all been waiting for. Avada Kedavra. Which is the killing curse. It just kills them outright. Petrificus Totalis.